So what we have learned from this presidency, I will give at least 3 points, and then maybe in the debate we can go further. But I think the frame has changed. With the permanent president in place in Brussels, I think it has no sense anymore to keep on thinking on these parameters of 6 months period goals, because things are not taken like this. The agenda setters are not these rotating presidencies that change every 6 months. The agenda setters are based in Brussels, so we have a long-term view. But of course, these capitals will still be temporarily working with all the technical work of the European machinery. The rotating presidencies can't lead the agenda, but they will be responsible for the whole year. And this is why the trio of presidencies has become an important role to play. Okay, we don't think in these parameters of 6 months, but it means that for 18 months, this coordination between those who will assume their responsibilities to keep this engine room working in Brussels will give some coherence to these rotating presidencies that probably they didn't have before the Lisbon Treaty and before the trios. In this case, Spain, Belgium and Hungary have presented a common work program, established mechanisms of coordination. So this is also a unique opportunity, and I think not only politically, but also to approach initiative, for instance, to civil society, because there, and I will insist on that later, we really have to find a way to approach EU to citizenship. If we lost it with the old concept of the semester presidencies, we have to find another way to remember the citizenship when you are in a rotating presidency, that they are making Europe. Well, we make Europe every day. Government, they are every day negotiating in Brussels, but people is every time farther, or they feel more distance to what's going on in Brussels, and this should be solved. So I'm convinced that this trio mechanism should be strengthened. That would be a good thing. Another point is that, well, the European Union remains immersed in this internal debate of this new hierarchy of powers. So in this context, the rotating presidencies are obliged to travel at the back seat of the car, and it's not my words, but the words of a Belgian diplomat. He described it like this, and I found it perfect, because that's the new situation now. But however, as I said, the rotating presidency keeps organizing 90% of the Ministers' Council at the Council in Brussels. And this means that they will lead negotiation also of every legal text with the European Parliament. And the European Parliament, after the Lisbon Treaty, is that great battleground now where the European policy is decided and debated. So this is a very important role for the rotating presidencies, all this political negotiation at the European Parliament. And if rotating presidencies have won this big supporting actor role in the EU, I think they should deserve also better recognition than the one they had at least this last month, and also the one they had from the new permanent president, Herman Van Rompuy, or from Baroness Catherine Ashton. And linked with that, I would just leave some questions for the debate maybe, but does it make sense to keep these low-key presidencies in the European Union where nobody exercises a strong leadership? And which is the real knowledge, for instance, of the Hungarian people about the faces and the new leaders of the European Union at this moment? Because I can tell that in Spain it's very low. What do the people know about the new European Union figures? And the last question is, will all the European Union members accept this low-key role when they will come to the presidency? This will be exactly the same role that big member states will have when they will occupy a semester. And a last point, I think, and this is what I mentioned already, the relationship of Spain and its citizenry in already changed since 25 years ago when they entered the European Union, and we have seen it very clear in this semester. So I said there was this unconditional Europeanism. Everything that came from the EU for Spain was great. Everything that comes from the north had to be better than us, we were for sure. And this has changed. So this Europeanism has decreased completely, and we don't have tools to reverse this situation, and I think this is a problem. It's a problem in Spain, but I think it's a general problem in the European Union that should be faced somewhere. The first time that Spain had the rotating presidency, I remember Felipe González, that was the president in that moment, who said, "We were European Union." I remember that sentence. Well, as I said, we should be European Union every day, but it's true that at least they had the chance to show in a certain way that they had been making European Union, and citizens could see that the European Union was landing in their cities for several months with all these councils of ministers and the European summits. I don't say we should have go back to that method that was expensive, not so practical, not so efficient. For sure, I'm not defending that, but I say that we changed that to be more efficient, but we still don't have an alternative, probably, to show people that they are still near the European Union when the European Union is working. So in that I think we should find a solution.